Today, me and Tuck are going to show you the tragedy that just struck the food forest garden today. Let's go! The food forests are looking fantastic, the best they ever have. I'm going to show you some of the garden and grab a few harvests along the way, but there is a few unfortunate events that me and Tuck are going to sadly have to share with you, and we'll get into those. Just let me show you a few things first. Check out this bed over here. This Chinese yellow cabbage, look at that. Almost ready to harvest, incredible color. This bed, absolutely loaded. Check out the broccoli back here, almost finished. Just needs to get a little larger. And a lot of the cabbages and all the different kinds of plants in here. The Lollo Rosso lettuce, looking great, just packed with food. Swing over here too. Check out this early Jersey Wakefield cabbage right here. This thing's just a few days away from grabbing. And look at the diversity, look at the health and the beauty in this bed. Lettuce ready in the back, really, really nice. And check out this cabbage right here, this cauliflower. This one is really close to ripe, but I have one that is even further along. Let me show you it over here. As we pass by some super healthy looking tomatoes. We'd love to see it. Come over here. Look how packed this bed is. This Farao cabbage right here is ready to grab. I'm gonna grab a different one in a different spot, but look at that. All ready to go. Check out this cauliflower. Look at the color and the beauty. Man, that thing looks fantastic. I have always said that a food forest is a paradise for everyone and everything. A paradise for people, for Tuck, for birds, for animals, for insects. It's just truly magical. Let me show you a little bit of what I'm talking about. So the devastating thing about a food forest is that there is so many different kinds of life. Coming right here, you'll notice I came outside one day and found these eggs just yesterday all crushed up on the ground, which is pretty sad to see because something attacked these eggs, and that kind of broke my heart. When me and Tuck peeked back here, we noticed that there must have been a nest in here. I mean, clearly there's a nest. I'm 99% sure it was a mallard duck nest because we just had mallards in here just the other day. The sad part is there's still an egg in there. So, it's just a little upsetting for us to see. It was really nice to see that there's eggs here, but then it was upsetting to see that, something came in and attacked it. I don't think it was Tuck. He would have went for the other egg, and he's getting a little old, so he's not super kind of alert to those kinds of things. Plus, I don't think he would eat the eggs just like this. He would have probably went for the rest of them. Let me bring you over to another scenario where we had another form of life come in. As we swing by some of these beds and stuff, check out over here. So it's like a contrast of two things. The garden looks beautiful and the plants look amazing, and it's really nice having birds and stuff coming in, but then something happens to them and it kind of breaks your heart a little bit. I showed you guys just a couple of videos ago where we had a mourning dove right here. She was sitting on her eggs, and then I come out the next day, or maybe a couple days after, and the eggs, something got in and killed the eggs. So very similar to what happened over there. It's like there's so much life in here that something tries to have some eggs and some babies, but then something else comes in because it's just teeming with life. Something that was made me super happy to see just today though, was if you peek over here, I don't want to go too close. There's another mourning dove in the grapes. If you swing around over here, you can see her a little bit. She's watching us. I don't want to scare her away. Another nest. She's going to try her hand at it again. So I'm really, really excited to see that. So even though things could feel devastating at times, life always comes back. It's so resilient, and that's why we love a food forest, because it provides such a great habitat for so many different living things. Look at Tuck over there. He loves spending his time out here. And it's different from your typical garden because you have areas of shade. Tuck can hang out in the shade underneath some cherry trees, spend some time, enjoy it. And some of the crops still grow fantastic even though they're grown in some partial shade. Like look at this cauliflower over here. Still doing really well. And we've got peas growing up over here, looking good. And check this out over here. This is a really, really cool one. And I'm gonna have to grab a taste of it. Look at this here. Look at the size of this celery. This is some of the healthiest celery that I've ever grown. Let me just try a piece of it. Oh yeah, I love celery, and fresh celery from the garden, tough to beat. So sweet and so good. Tuck doesn't like celery. We'll have to find him a different snack. I know I got some peas in the back ready. Check out these currants though. They're right on the cusp of being ripe. These are the white currants. They taste so dang good. I love them so much. Let's move back over here though, through the garden a little more. I want to show you a few more things. It's like everywhere I turn, there's more birds. It's incredible to be part of a food forest. This bed is loaded with food, even though it gets partial shade. Look at the size of some of these Swiss chard leaves. Look at that, isn't that absolutely ridiculous? Swing around over here. We've got the asparagus patch doing really nicely. And then I've got some potatoes down here, just starting to pop up out of the ground. And check out all the tomatoes back here. And we keep that common theme of like a fruit tree and then blueberries between it. So, and then over there is the same scenario. So blueberries, fruit tree, blueberries, fruit tree. We kind of have those in a line, and then we have our two lines of tomatoes for what I like to call Tomato Alley. And then come back in the corner over here. Our peas are really starting to hit their stride. I bet Tuck is going to want one of these. It's a super hot day today, so they're starting to almost wilt a little bit. I'll have to come out here and water them and also make sure that I mulch them. But you can see some early peas are starting to come in, and I bet the boss himself will start to show up. Tuck, he's looking for some shade. Let's find him over here. What do you think, buddy? Pea time? This guy loves eating his fresh peas from the garden. One of his favorite snacks. Right, boyo? And then if you swing over here, we have all the purple peas that are doing really nice, like the sugar magnolia. Can you see them through the insect netting? They look really good. Then over here, we have the yellow peas. Look at these over here. If I don't keep this insect netting up, then the birds come for it. But then not just the birds, the Tuck comes for it. This guy will go for those peas because they're low hanging, these ones, and just snack on all of them. Back in this corner here too, you'll notice we've got some squash planted right next to these posts. I'm going to be growing the squash vertically. This will allow me to get more squash out of less space and just take a pan around. Look at this food forest. Look at this garden, it's huge. And even though there were a few things that were a bit devastating, like those eggs being eaten by something, and then also the mourning dove eggs being eaten by something. We have more mourning doves laying eggs, and hopefully this garden could just garner more life and everything feels safe in here, even sometimes maybe if they're not. There's a few more things me and Tuck want to show you before we let you go. Check out the grapes above us here. Look how nice those look. We're trellising them over to the arch trellis over here. It can be really nice. Swing over here though. I gotta show you the hazelnuts that are on the hazelnut tree. So these are our biggest trees in the whole entire garden. They provide some shade, but they also provide some food. Check out the sets right here, getting larger, these hazelnuts. Really looking nice. And swing over here, I want to show you this pear tree. This is my most reliable pear, and maybe my most reliable tree in the whole garden. It's multi-grafted, but this side over here, the Chijuro, is my favorite side. You can see it's coated in a lot of the, well, not as much up here. You can see these pears, but it's coated in the surround kaolin clay to help protect it. Should be a nice harvest on this one. These are the butterscotch pears. They are so sweet, so delicious, nothing like it. Come over here. Check out the size of this persimmon tree now. It's absolutely massive. This thing got so huge, and look at all the flowers on it. There's gonna be an insane amount of persimmons on this tree this year. Really excited for that. Swing around here now. Another hazelnut tree. We've got different lettuces and stuff growing everywhere. Just so much food sprinkled around throughout the whole entire garden. And check out our favorite apple tree right over here. We got Tuck hanging out in the shade of the hazelnut. He loves chilling in the shade. Come over here. This is my favorite overall, probably tasting tree in the whole backyard. I mean, the butterscotch pear is good, but this is the Honeycrisp apple. Nothing like eating Honeycrisp apples. I know you probably have had them from the store, but I'm telling you, homegrown ones, you cannot even compare the two. Homegrown, store-bought, it's like it's a whole different fruit. Come over here. Check out the Liberty apple. This thing is coated in surround kaolin clay, but also coated with apples. Just the whole thing's painted with apples. There's so many apples on it. Looks fantastic. And overall, the garden is just looking so beautiful. Come over to the pallet raised bed. A little bit of overspray of the clay, but still looking really nice. Even though there's a few tragic events and a bit of devastation that has struck the garden, it's still okay because there are so many things that are going well. I mean, we've got Tuck hanging out in the garden. We've got morning doves still laying eggs. Hopefully those ones can hatch and we can have some more life in the garden, and then there can just be whole generations brought up in the food forest, raising other generations that have more eggs. The whole thing's just really cool. Earlier this year, there was even a robin's nest in my plum tree on the side garden, and that had some eggs in it. A few days later, they hatch, and I got some really cool shots of the mama bird actually feeding the baby robins. And now they're probably in the garden somewhere just grabbing a bunch of the snacks. So it's such a blessing to be out here. Even if there's a few bad things that happen, there are so many amazing things that can almost overshadow some of those bad things. So it's a really fun thing to be a part of. Me and Tuck wanted to send a thank you to one of our new channel members, Deborah Devane. Thanks for being a part of Team Grow. Thanks for having your hand in everything we're doing back here. Overall, we hope you guys got some value out of this video. We hope we encourage you to get some stuff planted, to get a food forest growing. It doesn't happen in a year, but it's amazing what can happen in just a few years. And it's just really fun being a part of a system and bringing in all that kind of life and just kind of sitting out here watching and just enjoying nature. And there's, in my opinion, nothing more beautiful. Tuck and James will be back at you again real soon. We out.